Yo la mif, wagwan. Yo la mif, wagwan. Yo la mif, bien en wagwan. Je suis Gad Messika, journaliste, troubadour et très mauvais perdant pour vous servir. Aujourd'hui, on se trouve à Bangkok, en Thaïlande, pour de nouvelles aventures. Alors, welcome to California.
Welcome to Californie, c'est tout de suite.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous, ici Captain Kush, votre commandant de bord. Vous êtes toujours à Bangkok avec Wagwan Airlines. L'heure locale est de 4h20 et la température extérieure est de 35 degrés. Pour notre deuxième escale, nous allons à la rencontre d'activistes thaïlandais dans le monde merveilleux du cannabis. Alors, accrochez vos ceintures pour la descente, laissez vos téléphones en mode avion et roulez-vous un gros spliff. Ooh, yeah!
Bon, on va coller les parents C'est ça.
Yo la mif, wagwan. Si vous êtes dans le secteur, venez, je vais vous présenter une amie. Elle s'appelle Kitty. Elle a plein de choses à raconter. Donc on finit notre joint et on arrive tout de suite. La mif, on se retrouve avec Kitty, un personnage important en Thaïlande.
Mesdames et messieurs, je vous demande un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour la numéro 10 et capitaine du FC Weed en Thaïlande, Kitty Chopaka. Militante pro-cannabis, entrepreneuse et chic dame, Kitty est dans le building et elle ne donne pas sa langue au chat. Oh yeah!
Hello Kitty.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you to give us some time with you. Could you explain us where we are right now?
You are actually in my studio, where I kind of create things and work on stuff and kind of grinding out what I feel like cannabis should kind of slowly come out in Thailand, especially with policy-wise. So this is kind of my space.
And what image did cannabis have in your family?
You got to understand that you don't talk about it. My father was a lawyer. He still is, actually. I don't think that guy will ever retire. But he's always said that I will help you with anything, Kitty, just not drugs. And cannabis is drugs, and drugs equal heroin. So that's kind of a simple way to explain everyone's mind. Or drugs equal yaba, and we have a very big yaba problem. My mom, on the other hand, is the hippie. She told me of a story of my great-grandmother back in the days. She used to sell cannabis dosed with honey as like a way of a curing method. But we didn't have the spray bottle back then, so she would put the honey in her mouth and just kind of spray it out through her teeth, which is so gross thinking about it now. But then most of the time, the people inside the city will see it as a devil. It's a demon. It's a drug.
What role did you play in the process of decriminalizing cannabis in Thailand?
I'm a crazy person when I start reading policies. So I tend to end up reading everything and learn as much as I can about it. And then I ended up being someone who kind of makes something really difficult easy to understand. I would say I'm at every hearing. If there's anything that is wrong, I will be there handing out documents and I will be doing protests.
Ok. Du calme, Kitty. En tant que bon citoyen français, les boss de la manif, c'est nous. Alors, je vous donne en exclu notre starter pack du bon manifestant. Une grande bouteille d'eau, 4 Kinder Country, une pancarte avec un bon jeu de mots, du sérum Fizz si on se fait gazer, et évidemment, un pré-roulé pour l'ambiance. Oh yeah!
What were the biggest problems you can find after June 2022?
Whoa, there's so many problems. 3 things that you will need to understand, and then it will kind of answer pretty much everything. Those 3 things are corruption, nepotism, and lack of knowledge. And also our government is not very stable. So every 3 months, every quarter, they will threaten to make it illegal. So like every now and again they go, oh yeah, we're gonna make it illegal again, or oh we're gonna do this. So it makes it so that as a business owner, you can't really make long-term plan, and it drives a lot of people into the gray market. The other problems that now we can see is like when the price was high, a lot of imports coming in from the outside, and then when the price is low, a lot of exports is going out. And then we also have money laundering from various nations, Thai and all, and foreign and everybody. So it's like, I'm not picking a particular race or any country. I'm just saying everyone's doing it. Corruption. The only reason that it kind of became legal in a way is because of politics, because it was something that was kind of, in a sense, made someone got a lot of votes. It was something that was kind of, in a sense, made someone got a lot of votes into the actual parliament way back in the last round. And he thought that he could do it again this round, but unfortunately, the Thai public view no longer view cannabis as the money maker anymore. It's now viewed as a problem. They now start grouping cannabis as I would say like pretty much like meth. There's not a lot of information going out. The general public still don't understand. Some still go, is it still legal? Is it legal now? Like they don't know. So the government is not doing any job into educating the public in anything regarding cannabis, except for every time they threaten to make it illegal again.
And what change have you observed in the public perception of cannabis since the legalization?
That the public is quite gullible and can be changed by propaganda, and that they can change at any time. They can love cannabis one day and they can hate it the next. It's just down to who controls the news. And that is how things are in Thailand. And that's because of nepotism. With the public lack the knowledge and are easily persuaded, they will support whatever comes out of that room. I'm trying my hardest to somehow get my foot in the door so that at least there can be outside opinion. We actually drafted our own Cannabis Act twice, because I've done this 5 different version that is currently going into Parliament. Our version already got our 10,000 signatures, but we're only missing the Prime Minister's signature, and she's not going to sign, because she's going to sign the Health Minister one, because that one is corporate happy.
How does current regulations protect small producers or local communities?
No, in Thailand, laws tend to be made by those that benefit something from the law, and usually monetary. Not by people who understand what cannabis is, how it should be regulated, or someone who actually went to the work of going around the whole country asking people, what do you want? How much are you okay with in terms of regulating cannabis? Like, where is your line? We did that, but the government didn't really actually do that. They just went online and go, oh yeah, we're having a public hearing for a week. No one knows. You know how it is. This is Thailand. Corruption is so normalized that people don't follow the law, because it doesn't always make sense to follow the law. Not everyone has the privilege to follow the law.
And since legalization, how have you seen the cannabis market evolve?
It died very, very quickly. It kind of burst and then just kind of disappeared quite quickly, I would say, because I follow the legalization of cannabis all throughout the world. And there's usually a period of, oh my God, weed is legal, everyone's buying it, and things are sold out. And then the bubble bursts, because Thailand, we have mainly Asian, Taiwanese, Indians that are coming in, Chinese as well. A lot of those guys are not very predominantly cannabis users. So the use kind of eventually died down. will probably settle soon, meaning that the shops will kind of go down. Only the major guys will kind of be left in a year or two because the economy is not that great right now.
Do you think it's possible for the governments to reverse the legalizations of cannabis?
Anything is possible in Thailand. I'm constantly keeping an eye on things. Like how I said, like in a few days ago, another draft came out. There will always be like letters and things that comes out that I always constantly keep an eye on to make sure that people don't get arrested and making sure that if we need to mobilize, we do it quickly, and how we plan on and what we do, the message that we are trying to give to the public, and what's the goal of each mobilization. It's like you're planning a war, really, constantly. But right now it's kind of peace-ish time. We're not sure about what's going on with politics.
And Thailand has always been a touristic destination.
Yep.
But with the cannabis legalizations, we're seeing more and more narco-tourism. What is your take on that?
People will always get high. How do we make it safe? How do we do it in a way that everyone understand what they are doing to their own body? I want to see people a bit more responsible for what they are doing, because at the end of the day, everyone is contributed to making the law, how it changed, whether you like it or not. But if no one's going to help me with creating a really nice image for cannabis, we're fucked.
Great, thank you for your time, Kitty. Thank you for your answers. And maybe that's the time to have a little joint.
Yeah, I think it's time I need to roll.
Thank you a lot, Kitty. So, vous me dites quand c'est bon?
Y a-t-il un médecin dans l'avion? Pas de panique, le Dr Smith est là pour vous faire un check-up complet. Depuis 2022 et la légalisation de la weed dans son pays, il se positionne quant à lui publiquement contre l'usage récréatif de la plante. Oh no!
Hello, mister. Thank you for your time. You publicly oppose cannabis consumption. Why?
I don't oppose all cannabis consumption. I oppose for the legalization in Thailand. That is very free. I think it's freest in the world. So this is the problem of Thailand. I don't again use the cannabis educational.
Since 2022, Thailand has legalized cannabis. What role did cannabis play in Thai society before that date?
I think it's not used much in Thailand. I think it's about not more than 1 or 2% per person in Thailand that use cannabis. Before that, I talk about the recreational use. But in Thailand, before that we changed to legalize, there is some that used for medicinal. Because we have the raw that the current medicinal about 1 or 2 years before legalize cannabis. So it's not much used much. But after that, many people use it for recreational. I think it's more than about 4 or 3 times from before that we legalize. And the problem is that many adolescents, many child use it. Some child I think is younger than 15 years old.
What would you like to say to people about, to the public about cannabis?
I think many one that use cannabis think that it's not harmful. But you must know that cannabis can cause psychiatric problem in some person.
Et il a raison, le Dr Smith. La weed, c'est pas fait pour tout le monde. Par exemple, moi j'ai mon copilote qui devient parano à chaque fois qu'il fume. Alors, en cas de problème avec le cannabis, vous pouvez appeler le Drogue Info Service 7 jours sur 7, de 7h à 2h au 08 00 23 13 13. Au pire, vous envoyez un DM au capitaine et on trouvera une solution. Ooh, yeah!
If you want to use at first, you must know that this. I think it's in the middle between tobacco, ethanol, and the methamphetamine.
You are not afraid of the black markets?
Yeah.
Because now we can have like real information about the cannabis we can be smoke or use. What do you think about that?
I give it you about this because this time we have legalized it and have many market and many cannabis in the shop. So this is a problem. If we come back, there is a very big back market in there. And this is the problem. So it's hard to come back to this time. I fear the important problem that I don't want the child or the adolescent youth is.
And do you understand, like in an economic way, you have lots of new jobs created at cannabis. What do you think about that?
This new job, anything, this is good for the cannabis seller, but not for the government because we don't have the tax.
Why?
I don't know why. You ask my government, I don't know why. I don't against recreational use cannabis, but it's alright to use it, but you must have the regulation. I don't against the recreational. I against the law in Thailand. This time that is not I think the theory in Thailand. And the one thing that the problem in Thailand that the government told that cannabis is like the magic duck. It can treat anything. It can. Government told at only the benefit of cannabis, but they don't tell about the harmful of them. This is the problem in Thailand too. So if you talk about the smoke, the cigarette or the alcohol, we know that it can cause the cancer or anything.
Ok, thank you Feustal.
Okay.
Thank you for your kindness.
Okay.
Et les amis, on se retrouve tout de suite pour de nouvelles aventures dans Wagwan. Alors mes gourmands, on profite de nos aventures en Californie. Je vous interromps un instant pour présenter Mr. Sweet CBD, notre deuxième sponsor. Kevin de Mr. Sweet CBD vous prépare une sélection des meilleures génétiques de CBD en Europe. Et croyez-moi, ça vaut le détour. Yo l'ami, on a bon parti, on va rencontrer son créateur Faux qui a plein de choses intéressantes à nous dire. J'espère que vous êtes prêts parce que nous, on l'est. Enfin, on l'est, ça dépend.
Si je suis devenu pilote d'avion, c'est parce que j'ai toujours aimé les sensations fortes. Mais à côté de notre dernier invité, je suis un tout petit joueur. Fondateur de Bong Party, véritable Disneyland de la weed, Faux est un militant actif depuis les années 2000 et il nous partage sa vision du cannabis en Thaïlande entre deux headshots. Oh yeah!
La MIF, on se retrouve avec Faux pour une interview. Il est le propriétaire de l'établissement. Faux, thank you to receive us.
Thank you, you too. We are in a Bong Party shop.
Weed community.
เป็นเหมือนร้านที่รวมสินค้าเกี่ยวกับสายเขียวสโตนเนอร์ที่แบบมีมากกว่า 2,000 รายการ
How do you manage such a competition? Because you have a lot of shops everywhere in Bangkok.
I just lucky. I get money from the sell the Bong before, so I try to do something different. But the market is still it not say grow up. It's a lot of shop die. It's bad time. They got the big name for in the USA come in the Thailand. They just put the 1 million and become the 30 million in Thailand. So we have to fight with them. They don't have a good shit. The shits they found in the shit stuff and sell in the shop. So I try to make a fight the good grower. I'm not sure I can fight it because the market is still like too many shop and they come to buy the cheap stuff more and more. So I'm not sure what in the future.
We are more and more players in the cannabis world. What about activism?
Non, parce qu'il faut qu'on vous le dise, Faux, c'est un militant, mais un militant cool. En plus d'être un homme qui porte gracieusement les chemisettes, c'est le genre de mec qui organisait des croisières cannabiques à Bangkok, à l'époque où tu pouvais prendre perpète pour un joint. Depuis 2022 et la légalisation en Thaïlande, il est encore plus cool, à tel point qu'il organise des combats de catch devant son établissement. Ça, c'est de l'activisme. Oh yeah!
They have some group they try to fight it, but the real fight is like they don't have many people. When they call out, so people not like to come out. They just they care about it. Still sell stuff in the shop. They still care about themselves.
They still think about money.
What do you think about people from Europe or from America and they want to start business in Thailand about weed? What do you think about that?
For them, it's sometimes like a easy, but the goal in Thailand is also, normally it's like a stone. They have a good shit and they don't care anymore. So they
Sometimes they just keep their secret in their mind and use like a Thai people as a worker.
and Thai people have ability because we are we are farmer country. We know about the grow the everything. You can eat the fruit and it's good. Everything in Thailand grow is good stuff.
We talk about US, Europe, they got their own fertilizer. They try to sell it to Thai people. Like they got their own formula and you need to follow us.
Yeah,
But,
a lot of people may do it like that.
but when you follow the stuff, the wheat product, the result is gonna be all the same in the market.
It's not just everything is the same. It's the same. It's a gas. It's a sweet. It's a orange. Only that, something like that.
But you know, these big companies, they're doing some bad things, but they're doing some good things too, and they create job for Thai people.
But why every time we have to become the boss? Why five people that we cannot become the boss? You have to be the boss everywhere. So we can only the worker. Oh, it's a brand from the USA, so people buy it from the brand. But the stuff is still shit from nowhere. We have we watch them in YouTube. Now I have to go to his shop, but I don't have money to go to the US or something. So now they have a shop in Thailand. I have to go it and I pay $2,000 for the 3 gram. What the fuck is 3 gram? Oh, it's sad and disappointing, you know?
And what statement, what summary you can make about activism in cannabis in Thailand?
Like just fully politics game.
On y vient, voilà.
That's a ball. It's a ball bouncing around, and if they want to do shake someone, they use this for the excuse.
What about people? What about people who want to just smoking weed using simple light like me? I don't want to be rich. I just want using my simple light.
Yeah,
I own weed.
we just want to smoke weed without the police.
Without
Just like that.
In 2023, Thai government wants to go back about the legalization. Could you explain us what happened?
They want now. I know they want to make it back to the medical for the medical only. You know, you have to do license like a US people, and so I have an ID to show them, and I have to pay for the ID too, right?
In the future, how do you want to see the cannabis market evolve in Thailand?
Yeah! Pour une fois que ce n'est pas notre bon vieux Gad le Mexicain qui crache de la fumée, on ne va pas s'en plaindre. Chers passagers, c'est la fin de notre deuxième escale auprès des militants thaïlandais du cannabis. On se retrouve la semaine prochaine pour la suite des aventures de Wagwan en Californie. Oh yeah!
Every